Hi there. I was thinking today, and my mind came to some thoughts about things that I went through when I was much younger. And I can remember my parents were very spiritual people. And even though I am not a member of organized Christianity at this time, and I'm not connected to any type of religious organization, I believe that I am also a spiritual person, and I have a lot of faith. And I think back on my mother and father, they too were also very much full of faith. And they would often, for hours and hours, read the scriptures. And I can remember times when we would have our family devotion time, and they would often read those scriptures that fit the situation that they were going through. And they had faith to believe that things would turn out all right. And a lot of times it did. And I saw a lot of abundance fall upon my mother and father, a lot of riches, but it wasn't always the monetary type of riches. They had riches in love, they had riches in joy, they had riches in some good friendships and good relationships in their lives, and just so many other things. But I think about one particular scripture that they would often read. And I thought about that scripture today where it was about a woman who had an issue of blood. Now, I don't remember all of the specifics of the story, but I do remember them saying that this particular woman had an issue of blood and she had spent so much money that she had used all of her money going to different types of doctors to try to be cured of the illness, but to no avail. And then the story goes on to say that she had heard about the Messiah, and she had heard that the Messiah was a person that could heal various types of sicknesses and diseases. And she felt in her mind, in her heart, in her spirit, that if she could just touch the hem of the Messiah's garment, she would be made whole. And so, to make a long story short, she did indeed touch the hem of the Messiah's garment, and she became whole. And I think about that story a lot of times as my mother and my father went through the various illnesses that they went through. And although they eventually succumbed to those particular illnesses they had a lot of faith. And what I saw was that even though I did not get the desired end in their particular situation, it did work a special type a miracle in my own life, because what I saw in them was that steadfast and unmovable spirit that they had. I didn't hear the grumbling and the complaining as they went through their various illnesses. And even when it was just a week or so before it was time for them to fall asleep with the ancestors, even then they were people that constantly stayed steadfast and unmovable through it all. And I think about that a lot right now. And even though I realize that we do have the ability to pray, we have the ability to meditate about different things, we may not always necessarily get exactly what we want in particular situations, but I truly believe that there is always something at the end of it that can cause a measure of faith to still remain. Like in the case of my mother and father, even though I lost them many years ago, what I saw is, and it still stays in my mind, that they still stayed faithful until the very end. And I truly believe that there are certain things that we can do in our lives to help maintain our health, our strength of mind, our strength of character, certain things that we can eat to sometimes prevent some of these illnesses from coming on us in the first place. And so that has been my resolve for the last several years. And it is my resolve to maintain that type of mindset until it's time for me to fall asleep with my ancestors. And that is to eat better and to really care about who I am and what I am as an impact upon the rest of the world. I want to make a difference. And if that difference means me giving up those things that others may see me doing that may hinder them, then I am open to doing that. Like, for instance, I thought about many years ago, and I used to be a meat eater, much, much younger in age at the time when I was doing that. But I used to eat meat, and eventually I did give it up. And just a lot of things that I was giving up, and it helped me to be a whole lot better as a result of giving up a lot of those things. And so now I'm at a point where I'm trying to strive to be more plant-based in my eating habits, and I'd rather eat those things that's growing out of the ground, like the vegetables and things like that, and eating fresh fruit rather than those sweet drinks and those sweet cakes and pies and things that are of no benefit whatsoever to me at all. Because truly, I do want to be a light in this world, and I want my living to not be in vain. And so that is my goal. I'm striving to eat better, drink nothing but water unless I'm making a fruit smoothie or a vegetable smoothie. Those are the things that I would rather drink rather than those sweet drinks that are of no benefit whatsoever to me. And I am constantly meditating. I'm constantly filling my mind with positive thoughts. And when those negative things try to come on me and try to creep into my mind, I push them out of my mind. And that's why I spend so much time outdoors in nature, because truly, 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 every time I'm out in nature and when that sun is beaming down on me and I'm surrounded by such beautiful greenery and the trees, some of which I'm unaware of how old they are, but they're here and they are steadfast, they are unmovable. And I get so much strength. I garner so much strength just by being out here meditating. I put my feet in the grass so that I can do some of that grounding, and I do my shadow work out here to help motivate me, to keep me inspired to be the best that I can be in this world, so that I can indeed make a difference for good in this world. So I'm working on me, and I am still a work in progress, but I would admonish you to let that be your resolve also, to strive to be the best that you can be in this world, because we are always being watched by someone. And someone is either being inspired by something that we do, or it may cause someone to maybe slip up by something that I may be doing or you may be doing, and someone is watching us at that time. And maybe it was someone that was watching us that may have been inspired by something that we said and did. But then they see us trip and fall, and then sometimes that gets them off of that course that they originally was on. So that is my goal, that is my resolve. And I believe that with my parents dwelling in me because I came from them, that will inspire me to know that, hey, they would be so proud of me in the progress that I'm making in this world, and that my living is definitely not in vain. Not to say that I'm a perfect human being, but I'm striving every single day to be a better version of myself. And when I talk again about my mother and father, sometimes I will chuckle, and sometimes I have to look around because it almost sounds like that chuckle that my father had. It's almost like I mimic him because I'm a lot like him in a lot of ways. So that is my goal. That's my resolve. And I hope that will be your resolve too, to be the best that you can be in this world. And as I end this video for today, I do hope that you have an absolutely wonderful remainder of this day. This is Proud Melanated Queen saying goodbye.